Bam, 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 bam. Ba-doo-doo. Ba-doo-doo. Squirrels hanging out around here earlier. Oh. Alright. Blue Jays are all right here. See that little buddy hanging out over here? Oh, oh. Let's see. What dude's down there? Little dude's in there somewhere. Can't really tell though. Oh no, don't go on. Looks bored out of your mind there, buddy. Thanks, Grubby. Yeah, they're all over the place. Nice birds. Calling over there. Oh, shit. Doesn't want to come over here, I guess. These birds are going nuts. There we go. There's one of the crows. Just landed right there. The scrub jay just flew right by me. These birds are wild, dude. Oh, there's another scrub jay. Oh, they're sneaking away the nuts. Where are they going? I think both of these scrub jays are buried down over there. Yeah, they just both landed over there. Oh, one of them's about to come back. There we go. I can't tell if there's a baby in a nest up here or if it's just a crow just calling up here. I see what looks like a nest, so. Oh, no. It's just a bird on another tree up here. What's up, Zukov? Just hanging out here? Just hanging out in that one spot this entire time? Oops. Don't want my phone sliding out of my hand. Here. That's real quick. There we go. Doggo! Doggo, doggo! Sweet little silly thing. Come on. Oof. Smack my head on the door. That's always great. Alright. Come on, notifications. Do your dirty work. Let's do this too. Make sure this isn't like totally blasted shit when I play it. There we go. There we go. All right. Go through this recording. Whoa, I had a bunch of weed ground in here. I didn't even know. Wow. Wow. That solves that mystery. What? You were just outside staring off into oblivion, and now you're just all attentive and wanting to go outside or something? Seriously? Wow. Ugh. Damn. Fucking brain needs to wake up. Dude. Oh, come on, YouTube, don't be dumb. Oh, come on, YouTube, don't be dumb. There we go. Cool. Oh, man, this app's sometimes ridiculous. There we go. Cool. To kind of see, what'll be going on for tube for today. Let's see what's be going on. And coffee to help get that damn brain woken up a little bit. Arise, brain, arise. Ooh, a little bit of a harsh bud. Bam. Ooh, U.S. soldiers were in Jordan? What the fuck? Oh my god. More tit for tat over there, isn't it? You gotta love it. Top news of the day. We shall respond. Biden on U.S. soldiers killed in Jordan. Why in the fuck do we have soldiers in Jordan? What do we have, like our boys out there in fucking Jordan? Iraq is pretty typical, and like I already know that, but like fucking Jordan, I'm not really surprised at all. But goddamn, like there's just gonna be like probably now like a legit like conflict going on in Jordan too at this point. I mean, I'm honestly surprised it hasn't like bled over there already. At this point, pretty much is just gonna do that. Won't really be surprised by like springtime. There is like a multi-front war like straight up going on. On top of, just a typical fucking genocidal shit going on that Israel's doing. God damn it. YouTube piece of shit. Fuck you, YouTube, for doing that. I wasn't clicking on no damn video. Oh my god, even more bullshit of Biden being a piece of fucking dumbass, weak-willed garbage. Joe Biden says he's willing to close the U.S.-Mexico border if lawmakers only send him a bill to sign, damn it. Referring to a border deal in Congress also would unlock money for Ukraine while speaking election events, but yeah, whatever. So instead of like going General Sherman on Texas, he's basically just being like, yeah, we'll close the border and like help out with that a little bit. Just don't be putting up razor wire or something, please. That's basically, it's just what it is. It's like, what the fuck? He is just like the biggest fucking lame duck piece of shit motherfucker ever, dude. He's pretty much going to be like seen historically as like the equivalent of like James Buchanan or something, or like a James T. Polk. He's going to be seen as just like a weak-willed, do-nothing fuck who is like, if anything, probably partially to blame for whatever like consequences happen in the next fucking like electoral cycle. Who are there? They, sir. I'm saying they as the DNC and shit. There's just like two fucking like little top news things on YouTube in a row. One about how I guess we have troops in Jordan and how we're gonna directly respond to that, all that, and of course Joe Biden being like, well, I'll close the border down, basically help the Republicans and the GOP on that fucking issue. Do some bipartisan work, instead of like, cracking down on Texas and their fucking shit. So, basically just showing that, he's just the most worthless piece of garbage to essentially ever exist. Because the motherfucker's just straight up gonna be like, a lame duck fucking James Buchanan style president. Because that's essentially is what he is. What happened in Jordan? Well, I guess we have troops there, that I never knew about. Because, yay, America just has troops everywhere, basically wherever they fucking please. And there was like a drone attack on like a U.S. base, and a couple troops got killed. Like, I think it was like 2 American soldiers were killed or some shit. So now Biden's like, oh, we're going to respond to this and just add more escalatory tit for tat, when it comes to the fucking conflict that's going on over there right now. Which, frankly, I'm not surprised at all, but still, it's just like, fucking ridiculous. And I hate the fucking weird little, like, rebuttal of like, well, but Trump will be worse about it, though. It's like, not really. It's gonna at least be the same, only rhetorically, like, more gung-ho about it. While Biden's, being like a lame duck, spineless little bitch. It's like, I mean, there isn't really gonna be that much of a fundamental difference between the two. At least on these issues. Like, on the border and fucking foreign policy, like, they're pretty much equivocal. Outside of rhetoric. It pretty much is like aesthetics and rhetoric that they're different on. Other than that, they really aren't. I mean, it's like, sure, you could point out the differences, between the two administrations, but at least when it comes to shit that's especially kind of fucking impactful and actually is pretty fucking meaningful in a way that, people immensely care about, no. He hasn't done anything. And even if he has, it's more like a moldy little like sprinkle that's just like been sitting out in the sun for 3 weeks and is giving you that. So like, oh, here you go, Jack. That's from that country. Well, it's probably gonna like get a little bit more heated over there. And a little bit more ridiculous. And fucking, unstable. Like, as I figured, I mean, the relations of the United States and the Kingdom of Jordan are probably at least fairly neutral, or at least somewhat positive, considering that we, do a lot of dealing with a lot of these Arabian kingdoms anyway. When it comes to, like, either, like the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain. So, I mean, it's, Jordan probably isn't any different from that. Which is probably why we have troops there, because we have, like, deals with, the fucking Kingdom of Jordan. So, I mean, and considering that now there's like more escalation going on, and now they're probably going to get involved even more directly and shit. It's just not good stuff. That's from what I understand, at least when it comes to Israel specifically with the ICJ, like they've actually have kind of clamped down a little bit on some of their stuff, like with this new injunction thing. It's basically something that would at least kind of have to make them report on a lot of different war crimes they're pretty much overtly doing, on top of at least minimalizing their actual aggression, which, to be frank, I don't think they're going to be doing whatsoever. He did the drone strike. Who? Well, I think they speculate Iran, like, or at least Iran-backed militant groups in the area, possibly. Like, it's pretty much, at least so far, being blamed immediately on Iran. But I, am not like 100% sure if like that really is the case. I mean, I've only seen like a couple little like news blurps on it, and I haven't actually like read anything on it yet. I hate when you're thinking of a word as you type, but your fingers type something completely different. So isn't this offense against Jordan? Technically, yeah. And on an American base too. And if it's, which I wouldn't really be surprised if it's like Iran-backed militants to at least kind of, keep the proxy aspect of things going. But I mean, I'm not too sure. Either way, it's going to just be, a tit-for-tat escalation, which is why I tend to be against it regardless, when it comes to this whole broader fucking conflict anyway. Like, because, I mean, when you got, like the, like the genocide of Palestinians, and then, some other groups in the region, kind of react tit for tat, due to that. Like, the one thing you shouldn't be doing is, like, doing more escalation of just straight up, fucking, like, adding to the violence by, like, bomb the shit out of Yemen, or, probably going to have a violent response, in reaction to what, in Jordan now. So it's like, it's just going to basically, be more of an escalation, in that region, which is probably going to drag us into an actual fucking conflict there, more overtly outside of, oh, we just got some troops there. Frankly, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if, like, Biden actually escalates into, like, a war to an extent. Why is adding more fire to this fire, making it go out? I mean, weirdly enough, there is, like, like kind of a theory behind that. If you use like a bigger, more explosive flame to snuff out a longer burning flame, that is something that can actually technically help. Because, like, like, let's say you have like a, like, like some house burning or some shit, and use like some big, like, gaseous, like, flame ball to like snuff out the oxygen and shit, that could knock the flame out. From what I understand, there's like, it's like kind of weird science physics shit, but also it doesn't really work, obviously, because you're just adding more fire to it. Shit's still getting burnt. The dolls will dump these losers in a year and become feminists anyway. Wait, what's this? If it wants to pull up. Real doll with AI in future relationships. Yeah. Beware feminist bitches. This what? The fuck? Huh? No more restaurant things. No more woke agenda. No, what? What's what? Pick me whipping are so fucking pathetic, and this is just so fucking weird. I mean, like, what? Huh? How does this? I'm just confused with like the fucking pitch. Beware feminist bitches. This hot six doll powered by AI is already on the market for just $7,000. Oh my god, what a ripoff. You can have a companion with these benefits. No more restaurant dates. But what if you're such a lonely loser that you do that with your fucking AI sex doll? No more woken shit. What if you program the AI to do that? See, like, I love it's just so fucking weird. It's not just that, like, these pick-me women are fucking pathetic. It's just that dudes who actually unironically fall for this shit are just as, if not more pathetic. Because that's just sad. He's a robo-girlfriend. I bet Six will be like, yeah, so I think we should see some other people. What? Even my AI girlfriend wants to break up with me, goddammit. Damn it. My dog is just giving me a fucking goofy little look. It's doing like this. Hey. So he wants to boof at me. Robo-feminism, dude. Robo-feminism. Honestly, I welcome our robot feminists. I welcome the robot feminist overlord. Robo-feminism, dude. You ever play System Shock 2? I've heard of it, but I haven't played it. I should go to bed. Why? What? I haven't watched the video, but I bet the video will piss you off at least until the response. What's this? Everything this guy said is correct, and the two people in the video at the beginning are wrong and bad. The Gen Z labor force is truly a new breed. Oh boy. What's going on here? Oh man, it's one of these fucking weird ass TikTok shorts too. Alright, hold on. It's probably gonna be fucking dumb.
Come in for an 8 a.m. meeting. My Gen Z new hire said, ugh, sorry, you can't make it.
Wait, hold on. I want to just full screen it. If it wants to do that, do you want a full screen for me? I guess it doesn't want to do that. Alright, whatever.
When asked to come in for an 8 a.m. meeting, my Gen Z new hire said, ugh, sorry, you can't make it. I have a workout class. Should this be allowed?
My visceral reaction was, are you fucking kidding me?
No, fully. Like, anger, typing this out. I was like, please.
Like, my hand's shaking. It's not.
So what? What do you mean, like, oh my god? Yeah, it's just like, it's like, how fucking dare you have a class? Like, I mean, yeah, they're, Gen Z, so they're a young adult, right? So they're probably in college, and they can't just, like, skip college just because they just got a new job. Like, you're supposed to, like, work around that as the employer, you dumb fuck. Like, if they have a class, then schedule them so they can come in after they have that class. Like, oh, your class from 8 a.m. till, like, 10 or something like that. Then come in at 11. There you go. Or come in at noon. Or maybe, I don't know, don't come in that day. Or some shit, we'll come in tomorrow or whatever. Like, I mean, and also just the way they said it, it's like, ugh, I can't get it. And it's like, I guarantee you that's not how it was. Like, I'm pretty sure it was probably like, hey, I have a college class, I have like a college workout class. I can't come in yet. I can come in a little bit later. Is that cool? And they're just like, oh my god, despicable. It's just like, what the fuck?
You just started this job. I don't give a flying shit about your workout class. Also, an 8 a.m. workout class is too late.
Well, I don't give a fucking flying shit about your job either, so fuck you.
6, maybe 7.
Hi. Yeah, Natalie. So, we can talk about this more later, but I'm gonna address this now. It was made very clear during the interview process that the working hours for this position is between 9 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I am on Eastern time. I made that very clear with HR because I have commitments outside of work. I go to the gym, I work out because I care about my health. Sure, I can make a sacrifice to go to an 8 a.m. meeting had I known at least a week before that I needed to go at 8 a.m., not a day before. Also, my workout class starts at 7:30, not at 8, but I didn't know that I needed to tell you that. Okay, let's just say I skipped the gym. Two things. When can I expect you to reimburse me for my class? And two, are you going to be paying me from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., or at the very least, let me leave at 4 p.m.? Natalie, if your answer to both of those are no, then there's no discussion needed. I will see you at 9 o'clock today. Also, I sent an email to HR about this and sent them the link to that TikTok video. So, just to make things clear.
Yeah, but HR, unfortunately, HR isn't really going to necessarily care. Like, they're only going to care about the fucking, the public-facing image of the company, so they're probably going to honestly, not do anything about it. Can you shut the fuck up? That looks pretty good. I mean, redacted someone until your knuckles burst open burns a lot of calories. Yeah, it does. Boss Bean should be a college course. Ignore gets bonus points for his flying pile driver. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Dude, I definitely easily get like a AAA, basically. Dude. Oh my God. Sit. Come here. My lord. Dude, you've been spoiled all fucking morning, you goof. Here, you want Cindy? Here, have that. Walk away, fat tender in his mouth, good lord. Fucking goofy ass little mutt. Shit like this is why so many needs have been cropping up. That and also people just, kind of not giving a fuck about the broader workplace in general. I don't necessarily mean as they just don't care of oh well, fuck it, I'm not gonna put any effort in. It's more or less that they don't care in a sense if you're not gonna properly pay me and give me the basic respect as an employee here, then I'm not gonna give a fuck back. Because it's not necessarily because people don't necessarily care about their coworkers or anything like that. I mean, if anything, when it comes to coworkers and shit, usually more often than not, that's kind of one of the few things that makes it somewhat tolerable. It's like the people that you end up, working with. Not management and shit necessarily, but at least, when it just comes to the clerk or the grocery store clerk that's, next to you, just like you are, right? So it's one of those things where it's we're not paid enough to give a fuck and, or care. If you actually, gave us proper, pay and respect and shit, then we would. And frankly, at least, when I've been working and stuff, I'd say the first half of me working at the company and shit, even though it was still fucking annoying and stupid and ridiculous, it had a lot of bullshit and problems. At least it kind of at least somewhat felt like there was communication and at least an ability to work shit out a little bit. At this point, it's just their way or the highway type bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous. Also, one of the few fucking workplaces where apparently steel wool pads and shit are not allowed whatsoever in the fucking department, which I think is the most comically stupidest fucking thing ever. No one wants to work anymore. You're right, they don't. Yeah. Main reason why I do is because I need a paycheck. And that's honestly most of the reason why people, work at this point anyways, just so they can at least have some money so they can live or survive. Okay, you are so fucking annoying. Goddamn. Dude, how hungry are you, dude? Jesus. God damn. I'm gonna get you some more water from too very soon. Fat ass. the intensity of it for money. I don't. What? What? No. Commercials, wow, how are you going to insult entire generation of people and expect us to buy your product? I know it says millennial. Wait, what is this? Millennials give life to the snack meal. This is a Bumblebee commercial? But they just mean young people in general. Of course. Because, like, before Zoomers were, like, kind of like a big thing, yeah, it was basically just like, you millennials. Yeah. Square meals? Avocado to oh my god, are you serious? Are you fucking kidding me? How much you want to bet like some old boomer, rich white executive piece of shit was like the one who like pitched this, and everyone who is also like the same were just like, yes. Like like what is there to even say? That's just so stupid and insulting. It's just dumb. It's like, see? It's like, this generation killed things. How do we kill any of those things? Who the hell under 60 uses a phone book anymore? I mean, for real. Like, I mean, there was probably, a time where phone books were kind of useful. Because I remember growing up and seeing them around still. But, like, at that point, like, they were kind of on their way out a little bit. And at least, like the last era that I think, you can excuse their existence would be, like, the 2000s era. Mostly the early 2000s. Like, I mean, because once, like, caller ID shit and, like, and better mobile phones and stuff like that, and like phones, better mobile phones got developed and shit like that. I mean, once all these things started becoming more commercially accessible, they just became obsolete. Like, it's just due to technology that has nothing to do with any generation in particular. Don't like getting fucked in the ass. Yeah, I mean, we're already getting fucked in the ass when it comes to ISPs and shit like that. Why would you want to get fucked more with cable? Plus, there's streaming services anyway. And we still get fucked with that too. So it's like, I mean, we're getting shafted. They're basically just evolved cable into the internet sphere now at this point. Like, if anything, cable didn't die. It just, like, transcended into the internet. That's what happened. It transcended into a new form. Like, it didn't really die. It did for a minute. It was on ICU for a little bit, and then these corporate pieces of shit, thought, oh, why don't we just, like, upgrade cable into streaming shit and into the internet? And they did, and yeah, now we're in cable internet hellscape. Campus at Square Meals. First of all, when someone decides to eat their own goddamn is their own goddamn business, not to mention you guys are the ones that make shit so bad people have to, yeah. And also, if it was cheap enough to have like a full square meal or some shit, then yeah, I probably would have those more often. People skip meals, so forth, things, so they're blaming us for the shit they cause. I know, it's just such a, yeah. Like, whoever is like the corporate, executive board, of Bumblebee, for that stupid bullshit, it's basically just like fuck you, you young people, piece of shit, complaining about everything. When you killed all this great stuff, and now you just want to bitch and moan and stuff. It's like, good lord, it's like, shut the fuck. It's like, give me a break. Hey, it's like, what the fuck? See what other thing to look at here. Do-do-do. What is this? It's just entity. What's it? What does it say? What's the title of this? Oh, entertain content for women. Uh-oh. Are the women's, starting to, get involved in the, I guess, the womanosphere? The womanosphere? What would be the female version of the manosphere? The femosphere? What would that be called? But, I mean, oh boy. Is this becoming more of a trend? Is this a trend now? I'll say, Reginald, these youngsters have completely killed wholesome buggies hitting rocks and sticks. Femsphere? The femsphere? Yeah, I guess that's probably the best way to put it.
Let's talk about tradwives.
Tradwives. My waifus. My god, dude. I never really understood, the whole tradwife thing, honestly. I don't get it. I mean, if that's what people want, then go for it. Which, honestly, this is my main issue with these fucking weird conservative fucks anyway. It's just if you want your little trad wife or your trad hubby, then leave us out of it. Leave the rest of society alone. Just do your own thing with that, then, you fucking goober freaks. That is, Jesus Christ, that's a fucking loud intro, Vosh.
Here we have a trad... I thought I hit the button that made the scene change. Here we have a tradwife. You can...
Be more accurate term Stockholm Syndrome, I guess. And the thing is, she doesn't even, look unattractive or whatever. It's just I just don't get this whole fucking aesthetic.
Because she's in some kind of flowy, lacy witch robe and also has an hour worth of makeup on. No.
Just to hang out around the house in, too. It's I need to put an hour's worth of makeup and have 20,000 layers of makeup on me just for basically hanging out at the house.
You've seen this? You've seen this before? She looks very happy. Oh, yeah, you can tell. Yeah, She
certainly looks very happy. I mean, just look at that very happy smile and look of content.
Mormon, so I don't know, varying levels of Mormon crazy, but it's always present, Let's play the video.
This morning my toddler stumbled into my room, and her first words were PB&J, so that's exactly what I got started on. Growing up, I loved having fresh bread. It was one of my favorite things, so I get it. Started by making a really simple sandwich bread with some yeast.
Okay, so it's like a cooking video, I guess. Which I suppose isn't really unusual, I guess.
Imagine asking your mom for a PB&J in the morning, and she's like, okay, and she gets out the yeast. She's like, all right.
All right, we're about to make this bitch from scratch. I mean, if I was a little kid, I would be a little what the fuck, Mom? The Wonder Bread's right there. She's like, no, we're making this from scratch. We're going to do it like my mama used to make it.
It should be ready in 3 hours.
Water, salt, sugar, and flour. Kneaded that until a dough formed, and then let
raspberries?
that dough rise for about 2 hours until it doubled in size. I started on my raspberry jam. I used some lemon, monk fruit sweetener, but you can also use sugar and some cornstarch to thicken it.
Because this is
I just love how this is implied that this is for her kid, her toddler, who's having to wait this entire time for a fucking PB&J. I mean, it's oh my god, dude.
We're currently looking at pornography, yes, this is true.
Probably the most softest core porn that has ever existed. What'd you do if Lauren Bobo came up to you and said, stick the swingers in my putting on? I would get the incinerator.
That tradwife softcore porn shit, to an extent, but it's a different kind of pornography. It's not explicitly sexual. This is basically the female counterpart to the Andrew Tate thing, where they present this masculine role model austerity where Andrew Tate never really looks happy, but he's grimly carrying
the kid by the time she get the kid by the time they get to PB&J. Oh my god, just dead, just bones.
Out his biological obligation of being, I don't know, muscular and bald. And that's kind of what she's doing. This isn't just for male consumption. This is largely for women's consumption. I mean, the tweet itself that we're looking at is, she's kind of living my dream, not going to hold you. And it's gotten a lot of blowback, largely. Well, for
Living the dream. I mean, if, like, whatever, I guess. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, I guess, being a stay-at-home, like, wife or husband or whatever the fuck. I just don't completely get the, aesthetic of this. Kid as a skeleton. There's crust on us. You don't even have the crust. Oh!
There's been more and more of an upswing.
Always folks coming in and out. A party Mexican type. Oh, dude, fuck yeah, dude. That sounds awesome, dude. That neighbor sounds like a fucking vibe, dude.
Okay, how do I put this?
Is it the same one with the big TV in the backyard?
I'm trying to think of how to phrase this.
Because I'm not even gonna lie, dude. You should when next time they're having a big party, you should be like, hey, what's the party for? And just be like, hey, Domingo, come visit, and then just have a few Modelo's and just chill and vibe, dude. I'm sure, honestly, they're probably gonna be hella chill. I like how Ignar's little kid voice just tally. I mean, it kind of is. I mean, because I can't really do that much of a little kid voice. I mean, also right now, it's still a little early for me. I only woke up 4 hours ago. My voice still a little hello, morning, guts, glory, ram type of voice. So no Excorious water though. It's all beer or Sprite. Yeah, like Modelo's or some Sprite.
How a lot of young men are kind of attracted to Andrew Tate's ideology and the messaging because they feel really insecure and listless and hopeless, and they don't have a very strong understanding of who they are. And they're often depressive and kind of weak-willed. So they see this projected confidence, this image of a man and what a man might be, and they kind of get lulled into it. And even though Andrew Tate admits to not being a very happy or self-driven person or whatever, that doesn't matter to them because it's something.
Even though that he can get depressed, despite the fucking thing that, Andrew Tate's all said, oh, I can't get depressed. I just simply will it to not be so. And it's weren't you bitching and moaning that you were depressed as fuck in prison when you're in a Romanian prison cell, you fucking weird goober?
It's an image, and it's an image that speaks to some very basic, almost carnal desires they have. The idea that being strong is good, or being domineering is good, or whatever. It appeases a kind of underlying emotional insecurity. This is that, but for women. It's the same kind of thing, And
honestly, I don't even disagree with it.
There are a lot.
Because if there's this type of insecurity projection with dudes, for a fun fact, there are women out there that feel the same way.
Guys will look at this and go yeah.
Sure, it might not be as a big as as a phenomenon in comparison, but it certainly is a thing.
Can't wait. I can't wait to have a wife who wears a witch's outfit to spend.
Dude, her fit is pretty strange. I'm not even gonna lie. If for a trad wife, this isn't what I expect one to be wearing. She kind of looks like a gothic trad wife, but in a very weird modern corporate house. She needs some gothic home or something shit. Honestly, I wouldn't necessarily mind the aesthetic as much if there was just more shit to fit with it outside of just I just live in a very modern corporate cookie cutter home, but hey, I got this witch's robe. The similarities between Ben Shapiro's wife and Mojave Desert. They both don't get wet often. Oh.
The hours making a PB&J. There are a lot of women who look at this and see an idealized version of what they want. I don't think there's anything wrong with guys being beefy. Heaven forbid. And I certainly don't think there's anything wrong with women being kind of domestic, If I had a girlfriend, the girlfriend made me a sandwich, I'm pardon me for not being very woke in this moment,
Pardon me for not being woke. I mean, yeah, I kind of agree. If I have a partner and she just pops out of nowhere, it's hey, you want a sandwich? I made you one. I'd be like, oh, well, thank you, sweetie. Very kind. I love you. And just eat that sandwich. Yeah, well, sorry if I'm not woke for 1 second just because, the girlfriend or boyfriend, fucking, made me a Sammy. I do the same.
No. I think that's kind of nice, actually. I think I'd be happy. You're my girlfriend. You make me a sandwich. I'm not going to scream and flip the plate up and get the sandwich meat everywhere. I might actually like it a little bit. I think it'd be
It's
kind
like, oh, you're acting like a trad wife and making me a sandwich, bitch. I make my sandwiches, not you. I'm just imagining that scenario, dude.
have someone make me a sandwich, you know? As is so often the case, the issue with, what do they call it? What's the term all those homosexuals use? Toxic masculinity. It's not that the idea that being strong or even gruff or domineering or whatever is necessarily bad. There's a bunch of like roles and expectations packaged with it that make men act like, I don't know, psychotic freaks. And likewise, nothing wrong with a chick who wants to make you a goddamn sandwich, you know? It's just that much in the same way that Tate sells a very cynical, corporatized, insincere version of masculinity, this is that, but for femininity.
It really is. Like I was just mentioning how her house kind of looks like a corporate cookie cutter modern home or something. Like, I mean, you know, it certainly has got that aesthetic and appeal really immensely. It's just very, yeah, like very corporatized. I mean, you know, he's nailing it with that one in my opinion, because like I said it earlier, it's like the only thing that kind of makes her stand out is just her robe. That's really about it. Like, and even I was saying, it's like if it wasn't so cookie cutter with everything else, like I think it actually would be kind of a cool looking video. That's why I like when it comes to these cooking videos. That's why I like, you know, the ones that, you know, have a personality. Like, you know, what's his name? Like David Hollins or some shit, or Dylan Hollins, or you know, the guy, you know, the quirky gay guy that makes, you know, awesome food from like different generations. And then there's the old dude that makes the milkshakes. I mean, it's like, you know, you know, and there's a lot of them. I mean, there's even like the Jailhouse dude, DGZ or something like that. Like, you know, where it's either bustin' or bussin'. You know, it's like, I mean, the reason why they all kind of have an appeal is because, you know, they have a shocker personality. They have some personalities and shit. And there's actually something appealing, you know, to them as a, you know, content creator. Like, this is just fucking rote and corporatized as fuck. Like, honestly, when it comes to these type of videos, I really do just find myself either getting lulled off or just skipping it because it's just like, ugh, it's boring. Give me some flavor.
No? I think stuff like this is getting more popular because it's the logical counterpart to the movement that's happening with men, right? Like, if there are men who feel lost and listless and they don't know what they want to do with their lives and they're kind of like driven to return to some typical understanding of masculine behavior, wouldn't this be the same for women? Gosh, is this even propaganda? This just seems like a mom making a sandwich, TBH. You're blind. You haven't yet put on the They Live sunglasses. I don't know whether or not she's deliberately doing anything. I'm talking about this as a component of a broader trend, a component of
like the trend of the goddamn warp drive turning on.
A broader series of interests, motivations, biases, and what have you that could influence the popularity of stuff like this. You've seen a lot more of this lately, haven't you? Come on, haven't you seen more TikToks, Twitter videos, whatever, that have been women throwing their arms up in the air and going, you know what, maybe I do want to be a housewife, actually, as though responding to some kind of you know, like insistent movement saying they can't. I mean, the one that's saying,
I mean, honestly, it really just kind of, I think, is a broader growing trend of just this weird prudish puritanism that's kind of taken a hold on society a little bit. Like, it just kind of feels like somewhat of like a resurgence of like that 1950s-esque, like, oh, the nuclear family, you know, kind of vibe. Because really, I think, you know, there's like so much of a yearning of trying to like, you know, self-actualize and shit. You know, people kind of like look back, so to speak, you know, and get easily impressioned by, you know, what at least was perceived as what was, so to speak. I think it's also why you see a lot of boomers being like, oh, you know, back in my day, you know, things were, because they have like this little butterfly, you know, dream-esque kind of like idea about what things were back in their day or whatever. And a lot of people, you know, growing up who can't really like, essentially, you know, like scrape by a fucking living to, you know, to be comfortable for any fucking lick of a dick. Like, I mean, it kind of gives this sense of, you know, desperation and kind of a yearning out to at least some sort of, you know, identity to extent. And this is where a lot of these charlatans and a lot of these like, you know, manosphere, femsphere types, you know, kind of come into play too, especially when it comes to like this weird British spiritism, because it usually is used as a scapegoat towards things that are like woke and stuff. Like that weird AI sex doll thing. It's like, oh, no more woke agenda with this. Ugh. It's like, where did that even come from? It's like, where the fuck? It's like, there's like some more underlying shit, you know, at that point, if that's the case. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think, you know, it's a part of that. Like, I think it's just kind of a broader trend of like this weird, like 1950s-esque prudish, puritanical, like yearning or some shit.
Can't, I guess, the fact that we have a two-income household system now. How much of this is a response to capitalism, though, in some ways? Like, obviously, a lot of it is
That's so cute. He's cute, yeah.
people idealizing.
I don't get his weird Hawaiian shirt fit going on here, though. Like, what, did he just come back from Hawaii? Like, why is he such a random shirt?
Concept of not having to work.
He has such a strange fashion sense, man.
What a lot of women don't seem to understand or remember is that not working doesn't just mean they get.
What the fuck is on his shirt, dude? Like, what is? Are they just like clouds or something? Trees? Like, what is this? What fucking shirt are you wearing, dude?
Chill at home all day. It doesn't even mean they have to do like housework. It also means utter economic dependence on men. That's what the second wave of feminist thought was all about, predominantly. The sexual revolution, the ability to have your own credit card and bank account. It wasn't like women were going, yeah, let's go and work. First of all, poor women have been working forever. The idea of like, oh yeah, it used to be all women would be housewives. No, that was upper middle class white women. That was not the majority.
That is true, by the way. Like, if you, for example, if you look up the early days of the American labor movement, like, it wasn't just like, you know, miners, you know, West Virginia that were like, you know, or like lumbermen, you know, in fucking like Michigan or some shit, or like copper miners in Montana that were doing the shit. There was also a lot of cotton weavers and, you know, bread makers who predominantly were a women-backed workforce. And a lot of, and there was a lot of different industries, especially like cottage industries and textile and mills and shit that were very predominantly women-backed. And if you look at different like labor movements historically from like the late 1800s to the early 1900s, like a lot of, you know, these strikes were predominantly backed by women. In fact, one popular labor song, Bread and Roses, is actually based off of one of these strikes that happened, I think, in Lawrence, Pennsylvania, if I remember correctly. And it's based off of like a sign that one woman was holding at the front of the march at one day.
Of women at all, you know? Well, you think poor
who picked up the ball during World War II? Women. Which is another element of history, too. Like, I'm talking about a little bit more early in America, but yeah, that's another example. Like, I mean, that one seems pretty obvious, to an extent, so that's why I didn't bring it up immediately. But also there is the WASP program, too, where women were also helping train pilots and were being trained to be, like, you know, commercial pilots, you know, here back at home, while a lot of the men were who were pilots were fighting in aircraft and shit like that overseas, you know, either in Europe or in the Pacific. So, I mean, there was a lot of programs that actually helped expand, you know, women's autonomy and individuality, even during World War II alone. I mean, and a lot of that was due to FDR, too. Which, you know, hey, another good thing about him, right? Oh, he's so cartoonishly evil. What's this? They're harassing us every day for no reason, according to the dad of a girl who literally called 911 that day. Wait, what? Let him actually happen. Now they harass the families of the kids? Are you fucking kidding me? They're harassing the victims?
And joining me now is Miguel Cerrillo. His daughter Mia survived the massacre at Rod Elementary. Mia was in the classroom where the shooter opened.
Like, okay, I won't check out the whole thing, but like, you fucking kidding me, dude? Okay, like, I know people say like abolish, you know, the police is kind of a hyperbolic scenario, but for the Uvalde cops, no, abolish them. Abolish the Uvalde Police Department, unironically. Like, oh my god, fire every single one of these motherfuckers. We'll figure out how to replace them later. Like, I mean, fuck this. Like, are you serious right now? This is, like, seriously, like, some legit cartoon supervillain evil shit, bro. Like, what the fuck? Oh, and I wonder why, you know, people don't like the fucking cops. Man, it was, you know, like, even last night, you know, some, you know, wannabe jackass cop wanted to fucking, you know, pull someone over for jaywalking, God fuck forbid, even though it ain't illegal in this fucking state. It's like Stephen King, boys came to life and decided to join law enforcement. Yeah, pretty much. Jesus Christ, man.
It's like people who could barely afford to get their food were like, oh no, the women won't work. What are you talking? Of course they would. What are you talking about? Work in laundromats or whatever else. They worked in factories in World War II. They worked, Of course they did. Yeah, the wealthier families could afford to live off of one income, and there was a particular boom in the post-World War II period, suburbanization, where...
I have like a hair that is like on the roof of my mouth, and it's driving me nuts. Pretty sure it was swallowed, so whatever. I guess, one of my shit's gonna have hair out of it.
Bit more prominent, but that was like a tiny think about it, okay? The
God, that was fucking annoying. Ugh.
Of like American suburban development happened in the 50s. The second wave feminist movement.
That's why when someone calls an evil character unrealistic, I just laugh. Yeah, there are people that bad out there. Yeah, there really are, honestly. There are some people that are just that comically fucking deranged and awful.
In the 60s, the great era of women not working was literally, and only for a portion of the population, a single decade or so. Like, I'm simplifying a bit here, of course. We're talking about a lot of history and a lot of thoughts, but, like, Jesus, But people act like, oh, yeah, historically, women have worked. Bullshit. Yes, they did. They worked harder than anyone works today outside of, like, I don't know, cobalt slave mines. So, with that being said, it's more to do with women's economic independence than it is to do with, like, women being able to be a housewife. Ideally, everyone should work less and everyone should get to spend more time at home with their family. Like, that should be, that is the pro-family position. The fact that conservatives pretend to be pro-family while also being in favor of, like, the dad never gets to see the kids because they're always working, and also your child has to work 30 hours a week while being in high school, that bullshit.
Oh, yeah, it's so pro-family values, right? I mean, that's honestly, like, really the whole fundamental aspect towards labor is actually to be, pro-family, like, unironically. Like, I mean, because, like, to have, like, a better, healthier work-to-life balance and having, less work for, more of a livable, home life and shit, it's just, more beneficial for people in the long run, just fundamentally. Because, like, I mean, obviously, the more you pay for your work and the less they have to work means more time to just do your thing. Whether that's just, maybe sitting at home, playing some video games, whatever the fuck, going to, different pubs around the town, going to shows, whatever the fuck, going camping on the weekends or something. Whatever the hell, like, whatever your goddamn fucking heart desires, damn it. Like, that's kind of the whole fundamental point. I mean, and that also includes, like, at least in the genuine sense, family values. Like, and the thing is, you don't even necessarily have to call it that. You just, I mean, it just all kind of, wraps itself up in that. I mean, that's why, honestly, at least, with a lot of people who are like, like pretty pro-labor or like progressive or lefties, tend to unironically actually be more in favor of these ideas, but don't actually, boast about it all the fucking time. Because it's just kind of like, it's basically like, written into the ideas. So, John, what are you doing? Well, when I'm not reminding foster care kids that they'll never be loved by anyone, I like to get in fights with homeless people. Why would you do such horrible stuff? Because there's nothing more thrilling than to find someone who has nothing left to lose. Yeah, unfortunately. Because there are, like, comically evil fucks that own business that, will basically dump cold water on, like, a winter night on homeless people, that happen to be sleeping next to their business and shit. Like, there's unironically fucking piece of shit like this. Like, I mean, so, I mean, I know you're kind of making up a story, but unironically, that happens.
Totally incoherent. I do sympathize with women wanting to return with a V to making, like, sandwiches for their husband and kids or whatever. That's fine, There are kids who want moms to make them sandwiches. There are husbands who want wives to make them their sandwiches. Clearly, there's a great karmic cycle here that would be fed by someone making...
But what if the wife wants me to make the sandwich, huh? What if we want the role reversed? Huh? What about that, huh? We trying to be woke? I guess anti-woke. Not woke enough, boy.
Sandwiches. That's fine. That's great, But this idealization does speak to a very specific kind of, like ahistorical return with a V bullshit that is ultimately detrimental to everyone.
and also use sugar and some cornstarch to thicken it. While that was going, I started on my peanut butter. I roasted all my peanuts in the oven and then ground them up with some sea salt until a paste formed.
This is how I make my peanut butter, by the way.
You can definitely add honey to this if you want to. I didn't today because the jelly would be quite sweet. But by this time, my bread was doubled in size, so I punched it to release all the air and then split it in two, rolled that out, and then folded that over to fit in my
I like how she just fisted that ball of yeast, dude. What the hell?
release all the air and then split it in two, rolled that out,
Bonk.
and then folded that over to fit in my little.
This is deeply uncomfortable. I mean, I personally think it's vile, partly because
I mean, she also sounds really fucking robotic. She doesn't have a personality. I just can't wrap my head around the thought process. You have to get a bucket, go over to your sink, wait for it to fill up, then go over to the homeless person and throw it on them. Yeah, I mean, like, because honestly, there are a lot of people that just outright, overtly dehumanize them.
know about Mormons. Also because she's done up in so much makeup, because this is obviously
I think it's to deflate. Yeah, it's to kind of get the air out of it. I mean, she said it too in the video.
in part like fetish.
I just like the way she did it. Just like,
like the guys watch the women watching this are supposed to go, man, I wish I could be beautiful and helpless, and the guys watching this are supposed to go, man, it sure would be nice having a doll of a wife that I can like have make food for me, you know. I also hate the whispery voiceover.
I know it's the exact same 20 voice videos in Asian woman cooking. Yeah, it's just like that rote corporatized like TikTok aesthetic shit. I just don't like it.
I don't remember who it was or what it was for. Do you guys remember that like day in the life TikTok where the woman sounded like she was on 15 pounds of benzos? Like
15
just some
pounds.
dumb like San Francisco tech thrifty types, but the lady was being like dragged around by the boyfriend and she sounded like she was so strung out she was barely alive. Okay, a lot of you remember it. I don't think I'd be able to find it again, but at this point they're doing
I kind of want to know what he's talking about. I don't know if I've heard of it.
I think that it is part of the aesthetic, the idea of subservience, you know?
Loaf pans. I let that rest for another 30 minutes to about an hour until it looked like a decent size in my loaf pan, and then I popped that in the oven and it came out so perfectly brown, soft in the middle. I was so excited. I couldn't wait, so I definitely...
Didn't we just see no, it was a different one. That was a different like TikTok.
She has like a new fucking outfit out now. It's taken so long for all this to be done, she changed outfits.
Thing.
Why are they afraid of waking up? Y'all aren't feeling a cooking talk and fucking quiet place in the world. I know.
The like vertical rib shirt. This one's a lot nicer than the other one though. That other lady was selling some like dropship garbage. This is a nice.
I don't understand why they're so whispery.
It's her outfit. She's also pregnant. Yeah, that's why she's wearing looser clothing, right? I mean, I assume so.
At least sliced it a little too early. My daughter...
I don't...
Call take, but if your partner has to do everything for you, you're literally baby, barring any sort of disability. True. I mean, it's fine to like, you know, have a partner that, does things for you. But to me, it's kind of implied that you at least do some stuff in return type of thing, you know what I mean? Like, for example, like, if my partner does, a majority of the cleaning around the house or something, then I'll do a lot of things like the cooking or something. Right? It's kind of like a give and take. I mean, that's kind of a part of, like, a relationship, right? So it's like, that's why I just don't, just kind of get this weird, like, I just don't get it. It's just not my thing. It's just so strange.
Incongruence between the triad wife pregnant, like, loose, flowy dress thing, and she's, like, blue stealing me. What the fuck?
Oh my god, dude, she looks like she's about to fucking, like, kill me or something, dude. Like, what the hell?
So, she's mewing. Stop. Your jaw's fine. What? Good lord.
Guys just want to sit on their ass all day. I know. It's just, just have like a bunch of Miller Lights, watch Fuba, and just like sit on their ass. After they work like 12 hours a day, because you don't know real work unless you've broken your back at least once a day.
My daughter requested a mini PB&J.
Cutting all the crust off is insane. If I ever have a kid and they're like complain about the crust, like you're not going to shit. You can't shit until you eat the crust. Baby, you perhaps literal baby, you're not allowed to shit. I am padlocking the toilet. You will eat the crust. Like people who don't eat the crust of pizzas,
So I cut the
True.
bread down and spread it with my
Damn, that's at least a good food take.
That jam does look good though.
jelly, cut it diagonally, and this was really good. She ended up having a few of them and wanted more.
Wow, after all that time, she finally got her PB&J. Oh my god.
Right.
Wow.
You understand what I'm talking about, right? With the return with a V shit for like trad wives. We talk about that a lot in the context of like Andrew Tate and masculine role models. I think that there is something to be said here, like with the like masculine archetype being like almost innately violent. That's always what they appeal to, right? The idea of like domination or domineering. Whereas with women, it's like, you can make cute sandwiches. There's definitely a difference in the perceived social harm. I just think
Because I guess to an extent, I mean, I know Vosh was mentioning from earlier, but I think it has, at least in some part to do with like that element of like, oh, self-service. Because like if the whole manosphere aspect and like the entertain aspect of things is kind of like having this aggressive macho fucking veneer and shit, being subservient to that, kind of minimalizes the more like toxic quote unquote elements of that, even though it's just inherently toxic regardless. It's just such a weird fucking, Stockholm syndrome like just thing. It's just so weird, prudish, and just gross.
look, I think a lot of women want to be subservient. In large part, I think due to like social norms and biases. I mean, there's a lot of guys who want the opposite, right? So it makes sense. I don't think there's anything innately wrong. I also don't think that your life and your preferences are a like social I don't think they're meant to be like a performative social experiment where you have to like will yourself into being the perfect representative of your abstract ideology. It's like that old bullshit of like feminists being mad at themselves for being sexually submissive while still being feminists. It's really stupid, you know? If you're a lefty or whatever I don't know, you're more into like making the sandwiches, that's fine. I don't think that's something that should be fought against. I certainly don't see a lot of that, by the way. People always strawman feminists as doing this like
I think type of social imperative needs to change because these people that have ruined shit by forcing on others. Yeah, I mean, it's just like a forced perception, like a forced, conformity, which is like a huge part of like a lot of conservative, culture and ideology, honestly. It's just like enforcing this, like conformity and this like subservience type of, attitude of just like, oh, this is how things are, just suck it up and just like, here's how you work with it, basically. Deal with it. It's just like a fucking weird idea.
Never be housewives thing. I have almost never seen this. Actually, the group that I see that the most often from is the like TERF crowd that conservatives get along with because TERFs tend to be so performatively misandristic. Misandrist? Yeah, misandrist. So performatively misandrist that they will like reject like heterosexual domesticity as a concept, not just for themselves, but as like a broader political force. It's like political lesbianism. But conservatives like TERFs, because it goes along with the transphobia bit that they're hinging so much on. You can get railed and still be a feminist. True. Is there a difference in aesthetics between Western and Eastern trads? It's pretty broad, just those two categories. There's like millions of cultures or whatever. Yes, there's differences everywhere. There's shared art.
I mean, no shit. Such a strange question by the chatter. Hey, stop burning. Goddamn. There we go. I think it's what they want only because it gets repeated over and over when they were young, which ends up coming out emotionally abusing their own children. Yeah. It ends up becoming like a repeat, reciprocal cycle. And this weed is harsh as fuck. Goddamn. When you're doing the time, channel. Well, goddamn. It'd be 3:33. Shit. I think you know what that means. I think you know what that means. I tell you what. Wait, what's this? Alright, you got a little pick. TERFs, cons, less civil rights. Yep. Conservatives in a nutshell. And TERFs in a nutshell. God love it. Too true. And that fucking scrub change is popping off. Silly ass dog.
I'm not anyway.
Dude, I love how that meme can just basically be used for anything. It's great.
We don't want to go into the bathroom. I'll enter the bathroom. Go in the bathroom also and get this pie.
Anyway. I now have to work all that fun shit. So, peace out. And of course, I'll see y'all on that next one. So, toodaloo, bugaroos.